Okay, this is episode 5, recording as of December 1st, 2024. Couple of things I want to talk about this week. First up, I want to acknowledge how crazy my hair is. But I'm not fixing it, and I gotta take those off because all you're gonna see is the reflection of my computer screens the whole time. I'm not fixing my hair. I'm not gonna take the time to do it. As you can see, birthday, Christmas tree for Gabby as part of tradition. So a couple things to talk about this week. A lot of reactions to the move. Most people are excited. Some people aren't. It just sort of seems like everybody's coming to terms with it, even though really it's just not a big deal. We'll be down so frequently. But that's not really what I want to talk about. My God. And it's just a disaster, and there's nothing I can do about it. Alright, whatever. Big news, I finished the audiobooks for the Horus Heresy series. Boy, almost a year and a half later. So I listened to almost all of the series at 1.65 speed. So that means I spent somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 hours listening to those books. And wow, it's such a great series. So I'm on to the physical books now, and I believe there's 8 of them for the final Siege of Terra, plus 3 novellas, which I'll also have to listen to. And then I'll have to decide if I want to go back and listen to the 20-odd so Primarch novels that tell a lot of their backstories. Haven't decided on if I'm going to listen to those yet, but I mean, I figure why not? You know, it's all part of the series, and why would I leave it unfinished? And from what I understand, it doesn't even end with that final book. There's some, I think it's called The Scourging, which is coming out after, which is the follow-up to the ending. So I'm excited for that too. I had some trouble actually because I was curious to see if there were any other book series that could compete with the sheer scale of this one. And it was tough because if you search longest book series, what you unfortunately get is Doctor Who, and I'm like, that might be technically true. I think Doctor Who definitely has the most books of any series of books out there, but they don't really all deal with the same event. There are certainly arcs that are long in Doctor Who, but usually they wrap up and then you're on to something else. And I was really looking for something where, for instance, in this case, Act 1 and 2 are comprised of 55 total books, and then Act 3 is 8 books long. And it was tough finding something like that. Eventually I asked ChatGPT, and it told me that the closest they could come up with was the Stormlight series, which is 13 books. And I was like, wow, that's pretty pathetic. But then I looked it up. The Stormlight series at normal listening speed is 50 hours per book. So if you look at 7 books, that's about 700 hours, which is roughly equivalent to, well, no, it's not. It's about 100 hours less than just listening to the 52 Horus Heresy books that I listen to at normal speed. So there's something out there comparable to it, but also not really, because you have to add the 12 hours per book from each of the Siege of Terra books. You have to add another 3 12-hour books for the first 3 books, which I read as physical copies, and then you have to add 12 hours per Primarch novel and character novel, which there's another 20 of. So it's still like, you know, the Primarch novels right there are 200 extra hours. So it's sort of weird to be part of that unique club of people that have done this, that have read through this series. And I know I listened to a lot of it, but still, it was, even in my case, listening to it at 1.65 speed, it was 500 hours of commitment to that. So it's interesting to be part of that club. And now reading the final book, it's like sometimes you get goosebumps when you see things in Act 3 of any story, and to have Act 3 of a story be 8 whole books, it's just like a constant pressure in your head as you roll into the final books. And so that's been a wild experience. But man, I just wouldn't. Man, I don't know how I'm gonna ever listen to anything else ever again. It's just so. It changes the way you look at series. That's all I can say. So we'll see when or if I ever read another series again. At some point, I'll probably do a video breaking down some of my favorite books. Ultimately, I want to wait until I'm actually done with the series before I really make those decisions. Beyond that, I think it's becoming increasingly clear post-election that a lot of the people that I would believe would have been very upset about my views share the policy goals and just don't really like who they're attached to. Nobody likes that the Department of Education is so bloated and is paying administrators and so much with teachers so little. They just don't like who it's attached to. And I agree with the general perception that there's been such a targeted campaign to distort who President Trump is, specifically for the purpose of making people hate him. There's all those videos recently of Hillary back in 2008, 18 years ago, saying exactly what Trump is saying today. But Hillary Clinton was the candidate 8 years ago. So it's like there's a lot of, what would be the term? There's a lot of hypocrisy within that belief system. And I don't know, I'm just kind of tired of it at this point. And you know what, I'm 27 now, I have a baby, I have a wife, I've got hobbies and interests, and I just don't have the vigor that I did back in 2016 to follow every second of politics like it's gonna really make a difference. So I'm hopeful for the future in that regard. Other than that, it's just been a really positive couple of weeks. We pulled Vini out of daycare because, oh my God, they were going to charge us for the week of Christmas when they're closed and the week that we're gone on vacation. I guess it operates on the tuition model, but it's like, man, that is hard to stomach, especially when we're not going to be here come March. So ultimately, Gabby made the very selfless decision, hey, I'm just gonna pull her out. I'm gonna watch her until we move, and hopefully Aiden's girlfriend Gianna will be more than happy to help watch her for those few weeks. So beyond that, I think it's just gearing up for the move. As we approach Christmas, Gabby's already gotten plenty of gifts under the tree, so I gotta start pulling my weight there. And just excited to see where this takes us. So I guess that's all I've got for you. So I'll see you next week.